Afternoon, everybody. 15th of May, Friday, yet again. Do you know these Fridays don't often come round quickly? It's been a particularly busy one for me this last few days. Well, for me and John, actually. We're getting ready for the show tomorrow. So I've actually left him at the office, sort of finishing off bits and pieces. And, of course, we're moving, so he's trying to sort of deal with that. And I've come home to do all the prep ready for tomorrow. So I'm sorting out some hopefully interesting demos for you. So we'll see how we go with that one. And today then, what we're going to do, okay, I've got my tile there all done and ready. I've got a pen, a pencil and a tortillon here. I also mentioned about us using a stencil that's in the first emergency kit, which is this one. So it's just a circle, really. It's a circular frame. If you don't have one, don't worry about it at all. You can sketch. It's not a problem. All we're going to be doing, as you can see there, is using it just as a guide. Let's just move that out in a little bit. Hang on a second. There we go. So you can see what kind of size it is compared to the tile. So hello everybody. It's great that you're joining me again on this another sunny Friday. So, okay. Shall we make a start? Oh, I do have, and I know I didn't mention this to people, I have got my coloured pencils out. Yeah, I'll get to it, but it doesn't matter if you've not got them. You can add to it after the session, so don't worry about running off and going to fetch them. It's only a little bit, and it's only if you want to. You know, you don't have to add colour. But I thought when I was sort of doing the prep for this one, it just looked nice to have a little bit of colour in there. Okay. Oh, hi there. Hi, everybody. Do you know, it's really lovely, Susan, thank you for that everybody now is considering everybody friends. It's a right good community we've got going on, isn't it? And I think that's something that we do need to focus on and we need to keep, I think. So I am looking at what I can do and how we can sort of keep this going, because, of course, we only said that we were going to do 12 tiles, and then we went to 24. And I know some of you are still in lockdown, some of you are not now, but let me have a think about it over the weekend. Okay, so you can see there that I've done my little circle frame, so I've got the outer one, inner one, still working with my pencil. And what I'm going to do, it's just a little bit of a guide. I'm just going to put myself a little dot there, about the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry if it isn't. I think if you've got a visual that you can see what you're working to. Oh, it is 23. Yes, it is. Oh, my word, sorry. It is 23. It's me losing a day. That's because I haven't stuck my tile from the last one in my journal yet. That's what it is. So, yeah, we are 23. So, okay, I've done my dot here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up here and add a little mark here. A little mark here. Turn it round. And up here and there. Oh, I don't know, I've lost count now, Joe. I've lost count. I'd have to go back to my journal and have a look. Okay, so here then, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. And you can see the dot there as well. If I was to draw from here to here, it'd sort of be a straight line, wouldn't it? But if I was to do from here to here, it'd be slightly at an angle. So from there, I'm just going to put in a line there. Okay, you see? And the same this side. So I'm just sort of keeping in with that. It's not quite level, but that doesn't matter. I'm just trying to keep in with the fact that it's round. There we go. So I've got one there and one there. Okay, turning around. Same again here. So if I went from there to there straight, so I'm going to go slightly at an angle, slightly at an angle. Okay, now bear in mind these, at the moment, they're just guides. So we can come back and neaten them up if we need to a little bit later. But just for now, they need to be in position so we can do what it is we're going to be doing. Okay, so there's that one and there's that one. Let's have a look at that then. There we go. So I've got these sort of four sort of slightly arced shapes as I've gone round. Okay. All right, we're ready for the pen then. going to go a little bit bigger. Now, I'm going to work on the left-hand side. It's entirely up to you where you want to work. If you want to work on the right, you can do so. It's not a problem at all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick at the bottom, certainly here, within that inner frame there. So I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to come and pull, do a bit of a curve, and pull out, sort of over the top of that frame there. Okay. Oh, God, have you? Do you know, I'm really excited about it because I don't always have a lot of, just do 2 books at once and doing 2, and they're so different. So I'm really excited to see what you think of them. Okay, so what I've done, look, I've added some extra lines. I've left a little bit of space in between each, and you see they're not all going up bank, some are going down. But no, don't talk to me about bread. I used to love bread. Not so much anymore. I can't eat it anymore. Well, maybe I could have a nibble. Okay. So there we go. I've done my little sort of, I don't know, stemmy type of shape. Now at the top of each one, I'm going to create a little bit of a point. And a little bit of point. But you see that it's not actually touching at all. It's just that point there. Alright. And a little bit of a point. There we go. And another one. See, I'm going to do the same on all of them. But none of them are touching that little shape at all. Okay. Okay. And I did say at my last session, didn't I, that I was going to contact C&C about parcels and deliveries. Now I do know that some have seemed to have gone missing, so if you've not had your parcel yet, you need to get in touch with them, just as a reminder. And I think they're starting to issue refunds, which is really sad that Hermes have lost them. I've heard a few nightmares, so I'm sorry about that. Once they leave me, there's nothing, I can't track it, there's nothing I can do. It's so frustrating. But if they've refunded you and you've got a product that you really wanted, get in touch and we can sort it out. But let's not worry about that now. Alright, so you see what I'm doing here? I'm creating a little bit of a wave between each one. So I'm going from here, look, and I'm creating this wiggly pattern. I'm going to get a little bit finer as I go into here, but I'm still not touching that middle line. And then I'm going to come from here and meet there. Okay. Oh, I know, I think Pat, I posted yours. I think yesterday. Royal Mail. So hopefully it's going to arrive. There we go. See here, and then to this one. All right. Do you know, I know it's not my fault, Pat, but I don't half feel it. Because obviously, I've sent them out in good faith. So, we'll get there. Yeah. Yes, Rihanna, seaweed. Well, it could be seaweed, could be anything, couldn't it? But yeah, I'm quite liking the slightly watery theme today, I think. So, looking it down. Oh, goodness me. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not being symmetrical anyway. Totally round. Yeah, dandelions as well. That'd be a good one. Yeah, you could add flower stems. Okay, so we've got this sort of thing going. Oh, hey Karen, I've posted your dominoes this morning. So again, fingers crossed this time. Woo! Okay, so there's one. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to sort of bring another from here. Let's go up here underneath. You see, I like going underneath. I like creating that kind of depth that this under and over creates. You notice I've left this space here. Oh yeah, it does work. Yes, Joe, you're right. Oh God, see, it's nice to know people are getting parcels. There is a world out there. Post is still working. So yeah, so I've kept this sort of space here, and I've come back in on myself just to sort of put a bit of weight into this side, I think. Let's have one there, look. Does take a little bit of focus, I know, going underneath things. But I think it looks so good when it's done. Hey, Steph. Alright, let's put one of those points on the top there as well. And again, the same on all of those. Again, if you need to, you know, turn your tile as you're going. I'm not turning it as much as I perhaps normally would if it was on the desk and it's just me, as I want to make sure that you're not getting too dizzy and, you know. But yeah, you can see it a bit better if I try and keep it straight wherever possible. All right. So back in with those wobbly lines. Okay. Just keep it going. I'm getting thinner as I go to the bottom. Right, and that'll go underneath. So will that one. Oh, you might notice as well today that all is quiet on the home front with our Benji. And Seth, actually. Mind you, Seth's always quiet, he just sleeps. We've actually got somebody in doing the garden, and Benji's keeping watch, making sure that they're working. There we go. Alright, let's have a look how that looks in the whole context. Okay, so we've got this sort of leafy type of seaweedy kind of vine kicking off there. Looks lovely, doesn't it? Like that. Yeah. Alright. Okay. So I'm going to leave this bit in the middle here for now, and I'm actually going to come and focus on the outside section. Now that we've got those vines in place, what we can do is, before we sort of go back in, and actually let's do that first. Let's go back in with our little frame. There we are, on as close as we can get it. Okay. So I'm gonna, you know where we did the angles? I'm gonna stop my line at those angles. I'm gonna come round, and then of course, if I meet any of these little bits of seaweed, I'm gonna ignore them. And if you find that this is a little bit awkward and, you know, holding your stencil, put a little bit of blue tack under it and it'll be fine. Just holds it in place just for a moment, so that, you know, that's a little bit tricky, just making sure there that I'm going to come back and look at that in a minute, that we don't sort of draw over any of those leaves. Up to there and up to there. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so these sections here, I'm going to go and put a little bit of an angle on there. Alright, and then draw those lines in. So that one there, look, and that one there. Say, oh, sorry, I'm doing that twizzy thing again, you're getting dizzy. There. I'm going to put just a little one in there, and then join them. Well, and same with this one, just a little in there, look, and one there. Just gives it a little bit of shape around that outside edge. Okay. Complete with a pack of Haribo, Karen. Wow, that'd be what my first thing would be, to open them. As long as it's not the milk bottles. I can't do the milk bottles in Haribo. Cola bottles, absolutely, yeah. And it takes a brave person to ask me to share a cola bottle. Yeah. Okay, hopefully then you've got something that looks a little bit like this. I've got these vines going out, and I've got now these sections here, and this has been done back in pen. So let's have a look at one of these little shapes we've created here. I'm going to split my space, as I usually do, in half there, and then these two sections in half again. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, we could do that. It would, yeah, we could actually have something that we, yeah, could. We do, don't we? We tend to move things around ever such a lot. But you know, I think that's part of holding the paper and becoming, I say becoming one with it. It sounds like I'm, you know, getting a little bit too deep there. But, you know, you sort of connect with what you're working on. And the more you connect with it and love it, the more it sort of starts to grow on you. And, you know, your confidence builds and all sorts. It's worth doing, isn't it? It's lovely paper. All right. So then I'm going to split it this way in half. Now you notice there that I did a bit of a curve. Just again, it's in keeping that we're working with that circular stencil, that we actually put them on. So again, I've split my space there and there. Okay, let's go a little bit bigger. So I'm going to do inside each one now. As I'm going to put that. I'm going to put a little, that's a little square rectangle. It's sort of an aura, isn't it? Let's go a bit bigger. Yeah. And let's do that again. So what I'm going to do is just following them lines on the inside and then colouring that section in. A little bit at a time. Just nice and gently. Oh. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, spin it when you like then, can't you? Alright. Just fill in each section as I go. Or if you want to draw them all in first and then come back and fill them in, you can do that. That's fine. Could you imagine doing this on a black tile and doing all this in white? That would be quite special, wouldn't it? We did talk about coloured tiles last session. You know, if it's sort of sea related, what about a blue tile? Nice. I do have a coloured one, or a coloured version to show you in a little bit. I've done it on a grey tile and used coloured gel pens. There we are. Let's have a look at that. Oh, Julie's no pressure then. I hope you like them. I hope you like them. You never know, you know. You have to consider these things. I like what I've done. I think it's the best I could have done anyway. And I think I've enjoyed doing it, and I think that says a lot. If you've enjoyed doing something, then that's got a little bit of a merit. And I think the other thing, certainly with sort of the second book, it's sort of a how do I describe it? It's a record of what we've done during this period. So it's a little part of history. So as well as it being useful and full of instruction, and it's got practice pages in it as well with little hints and tips. Your tile can be absolutely any size you want it to be, or sometimes if you don't want to work on a tile, work straight on your page. It's entirely up to you. There's no rules or regulations or anything else. We tend to use tiles because it sort of takes away that feeling that you've got to spend hours and hours on finishing, getting something done, or spending lots of money on materials and papers. This is, just one of those ways of saying, well, let's just work with what we've got and keep it simple, keep it small, and not have to put a massive outlay of cash. That's where it comes from. Plus, do you know what? If you do one, and as much as I say, continue to keep these tiles, even if you don't like them, keep them, because there's always something you could do with them or add later. If you don't like it, and it's just a piece of paper, well, a piece of card, but it's just a piece of paper, isn't it? There we go. Oh, look at the lilac tiles. Very soon. There are a couple of bits and pieces I want to add to my website. But, as you can imagine, we've been a little bit busy this week getting all these books ready. So So as soon as I get a chance to sit down and add them, I will do. I need to, I think, let you have a look at them at some point as well. Oh, Margarita, the books. The minute they're on the Create and Craft website, but they will be direct at some point. But, I have to fulfill their order first. So there we go. Plus they said, you know, I said I was on at 12 and 6:45. They've moved it to 12 still, but 6 o'clock, which is great because that means I'll be home a bit earlier because it is a 2-hour drive. So that'd be nice. Might get a glass of wine then before I get into bed. Okay. So I suppose if we get time at the end of this, would you like me to do a quick flick through of the book? Oh, hi Helen. Alright. So I'm just going round and just filling in these little spaces. Okay, let's have a look at that then all together. Okay, we'll do in a bit then. Alright, so that's that little section done. So I now want to focus on these bits here. So again, remember we put that little dot sort of in the middle? It's still there, look. I can still see it. And I think sometimes putting your finger on it so you can move, you're sort of keeping within where you want to work. Because what I want to do is split this up. But if I was to leave it this way, I don't want to split it up with lines like this. I want it to look as though it's coming into the middle. So it's continuing that feeling of being round. So by having that little dot there, it means that you can turn and you can see where it's going to be working. Oh, I mean, she's going to love it. I'm sure she will. She'll absolutely love it. So here we go. So did you see what I did there? I've split my space in the middle. I've done a bit of a wavy line. You see it's slightly dotted. So I'm going to turn it a little bit more. So with that dot sort of always in line. And I'm going to split that space. And again, just sort of like wavy line and a few dots. So now this time, as much as it's going against everything, I'm going to put dots first, you see, and then a bit of a wavy line. It's got to be sort of slightly different and broken up. So then let's do the same and split this space up. And then this space. And then this space. And then this one. Look, sometimes doing that, if you start at one end, sometimes it gets a bit scary because you think, oh, what if I don't get to the other end and I don't have the same amount of space? Well, this stops all of that because you've already filled that in and you're just going from one side to the other. And then if you get to a point you think, oh, I need to leave it now, or I'm not so sure, you know, you can leave it at this section or this point if you want. But I quite like going in and see how narrow we can get, how fine we can go in there. Just keeping on with these little wavy lines and dots. So no need to worry about it being straight. Just continuing in the middle of each one, each time. Nice and gentle. Just let that pen do the work for you. You're just sort of dancing across the paper. Okay, last one. See, I might even go on, put another one in. Okay, see? Let's have a look at that then. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do the same now in the other sections. Starting again, so that's sort of my middle, starting in my middle and putting that one in, And then this space here, I'm going to split into two. And this space into two. And then the same again. Just keep it going. And just try and, you know, change up the patterns a little bit as you're going. So if you've done a lot of wavy lines and then dots, why not try a dot, a bit of a wave, then a dot, you know, and just sort of break it up. You can just say it to yourself. It's like doing Morse code, isn't it? I did know that once. My husband did some flying exams and things quite a while back, and he used to have it on in the car, listening to it. So I learned it at the same time. Well, not used it in a while. I've got him too busy to go flying. Yeah. Having said that, he's supposed to be going back to work soon as well, so don't tell him, but I will miss him. All the cups of tea he makes me. Hey Sandra, hope you're well. Okay, just keeping it going. Splitting that space every time. Bit by bit. There we go, there's the last one in there. Oh, yeah, it's looking alright. And the next one. Just repeating what I've done previously. Splitting those sections each time. Oh, that was random. Look, way out, just put more dots than anything there. If we get into a routine and it ends up the same, it's just nice to change it up a bit. Oh, hey Sheila. There you go. Splitting that. Just keeping them dots going. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's very nautically themed. I didn't have that. I don't know, did I have it in mind? Maybe subconsciously, maybe I did. Sometimes I have an idea and I'm not quite sure where it's going to lead. That's at the point that my poor John rolls his eyes. Oh, another idea. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to have the confidence to go with it and keep it going. Oh, so well, do you know what? If it's just do straight lines then, or just do a full wavy line all the way down. It's not absolutely, you know, the thing that you have to do it this way. So if it's not working for you, then that's by all means don't worry over it. Just do your thing with it, you know. So just a full line of a wave down. If that's what works for you, then go for it. It's fine. Okay. So there's my 3. So this one I've left to last because we've got to fit it in. So there's my center point here. So I've got to do this a little bit by eye and imagine where these lines are going to go. It's just as before. It's just with those little lines and things over the top of it. You've just got to work your way through it. There we go. I know this goes for anybody. You know, if you're struggling with a particular pattern, you know, don't stress over it. There's going to be other patterns that you can use, or just think, well, I can do that bit and make a bit up, create your own. Don't ever let it worry you. At some point, you know, leave it and come back to it, and you might find, you know, once you've been doing a little bit more, and you think, oh, I don't know what I'm worried about. And you're going to have patterns that work for you, and then you're going to have others that, you know, don't. And everybody's going to be different. There we go. So just almost done with this. There we go, just these last few. There's no rush though, not got anywhere to be. Okay. So this is where we're at then at the minute. So we've done our 4 sections all the way around and we've got these going. I do like that. Until it's shady, it's lovely when it's shading. So, okay. Deep breath then. Whew. A few bits to do in the middle now. Okay, you ready? All right, let's go in a little bit larger. So, I'm gonna do sort of a section. You could do it here if you like. But I'm gonna go up this section. I'm gonna put in one of those lovely bubbles. It's about, I'd say, if you think size, it's about the end of my pen. About the size of the end of my pen. Okay. Oh, that's it, Christine. Yeah, you just have to just go for it and give it a go. Not everyone's going to work out exactly as you'd hoped, but that's life, isn't it? That's life. Okay. Having said that, let's give this one a go. Should be fine. Okay. So this time, what I'm going to do is, we've done a lot of wavy lines. This one, it's about just straightening it a little bit. So rather than come off at a curl, which we have done before, I'm going to come off and I'm going to do a sort of a straight. Okay, sort of an upside down, the wrong way round musical note kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, that would be a minim in musical terms. And then let's just aura that line, or draw that line across there. Okay. Alright, I'm going to turn my tile a little bit now. I'm going to do the same again. So again, coming downwards. You see that'll go underneath there. Under there. Okay. And then aura that line. One to there, through, and there. You see, there's a little bit of space there. I've not gone too thin. So, same again. And down here, and that's going to go under there. You're not going to see much of that. Maybe that one there. And then aura again. Maybe a bit there, look. I love looking for that and finding the little bits. Sometimes I know I miss bits, but you can come back and add them in. It's just lovely. It just adds to that extra bit of depth, doesn't it? And again, down and under and aura. Okay, and again and down. See, that one's easy. Look, it's a little one. And turn it around again. Get another one in there, look. And again. And there we go. Another one. Alright, let's have a look at that. Okay, so that's where we're sort of at, or where we sort of should be at the moment. Alright, ready for the next? I love this next bit, because it really makes a difference to what we've just drawn, and it just blows your mind a little bit. So take a deep breath and watch first and then do it, okay? So we're going to repeat this pattern that we've just done all the way around here, but we're going to go against everything and come this way around. Oh, it's so exciting, I love doing this. So by doing that, instead of going here, I'm going to come back down this way, here look, and then start with a straight, but I'm going to go underneath where I did earlier. So I've gone there, see, underneath. So then aura. Okay. I'm going to turn it. So now I'm turning it the opposite way too. There we go, underneath and aura. Whoa. Turn it again. Underneath and the same there. Oh, like doing this. Underneath. And underneath. See? Okay. And see, look at this pattern, it's starting to sort of form here. So underneath, but we're not really planning it. Let's have a look, see that one will go there, look, under there. It's sort of got a mind of its own and it's going its own way. Does, doesn't it, Sheila? Yeah. Looks a little bit like spokes on a bike. Okay, something in its name is to do with spokes. So we don't worry about them. There we are. Oh, Caroline. Yeah, watch it back after. I'm just doing exactly the same pattern I've done before, but I've done it the other way around, so it just takes a little bit of thinking about. So let's have a look at that. So that's broken up that shape completely, hasn't it? So first we went round and we did it this way, so you can see the ones that go off that way, you see? And then we did it this way. So it's exactly the same pattern, but when you find that you're touching a line or you're coming up to a line, you go underneath it. So that's certainly something to have a go at. Love that one. Okay. All right, so here we go. I've got some space here, and of course it's very nautical themed, isn't it? So let's have a go at this tangle, and I do think that this tangle is quite nautical. And it's worth having a play with. Are we ready? And I know what some of you are going to say what it's going to look like. It's just not got the stem section. So I'm keeping the lines distant, and each time I'm going a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Yeah, so you imagine, you know, doing auras this way. Very, very like one of those tangles, isn't it? Remember those zingers? And now I'm going to come back, and it's going to get smaller and smaller. Alright, what does it look like? Woo! And then same again. Alright, so we're getting a bit bigger, but those lines never to touch. And then let's add another one in here. And bigger. And then smaller. Let's have a look at those. Look. Aren't they lovely? So you can have as many or as little of these as you want. It's entirely up to you. Okay. And put a tiny one in there. No, that's that one up here. It's amazing, isn't it, when you think there's just a few little lines and a pen that you can create something that suddenly it's a little work of art, isn't it? And it builds and builds. Before you know it, it's something truly quite special. Okay, I'm just going to sneak one in there. Look. All right. Oh, Margarita. Yeah, sorry, it's me getting carried away with those little fish, isn't it? So, of course, it wouldn't be a tile of mine if I didn't have, certainly with it being underwater, let's have some bubbles in there. All right. There's got to be some, hasn't there? There you go. Notice that, you know, not the same amount in each one, and you don't have to put them in each one. And keep them different sizes as you're going around. Okay. Let's have a look at that. And then I'm going to add some around the outside as well, just for effect. I need a little bit of a sparkle on this, a little bit of a sparkly gel pen or Okay, I'm not overdoing it. It is pat, isn't it? It's lovely. Okay. So then I'm going to put my pen down now for a little bit. And I'm just going to, just for this section, I'm just going to bring in a bit of coloured pencil. And as I said, you don't have to, but I just think it's screaming out for a bit of colour on this little bubble here. So just before we started this session, I had just a little bit of spoil me time with my electric sharpener and my pencils. So all my pencils are nice and sharp now. If you haven't got an electric sharpener, you need one in your life. They're ace. Alright, so I'm putting some white on just in that top area there. You can sort of see that. And then I'm going to go in with my blues. Well, I've got blue greens, that kind of thing. So let's start with my lightest blue. And what I'm going to do is just, you know, in little circles and just add some around the outside of that white. And you might not be able to see much of that going on yet, but it'll show up in a minute. Okay. You start off by just doing it quite lightly because you can always add later. You see there's that white section. I've got this real pale blue. Let's turn it round and go in a little bit darker. You see, this time I'm going around this edge. So I've got more of the dark sort of around this side. Well, that's where my white is. See, opposite end. There we go. And just a little bit up that top end. Not much. Let's go back to the light one. Fill that little bit in. I'm going to go in with a darker. I've got sort of a slightly Caribbean sea, this one. These are my chameleons. Oh, let's put a little bit of that Caribbean sea in the back there. And then blend it back out again with those other two blues. Just little bits. See, it doesn't take much, but I think it's just nice to have. I do feel it just needs a little bit more of a strong there. So I'm going to go in with my darkest green. What's that one? Pine. Just add a touch of pine. Bottom end. There we go. Let's have a look at that. Yeah. There we go. Got that lovely little light source there. Now we can continue going round, you know, with colours, but I'm going to go back to just my regular pencil now. I just wanted that little highlight in there. Okay, first things first then, let's go back to these little vines that we started. Much like, you know, if we're doing bubbles or if we're doing any leaves in particular, I'm just going to go in and add some pencil, just to sort of one edge. You see if you've got quite a large sort of little bit there as well. I'm going to add some in there as well. A little bit there, because see that one's underneath. Let's put a bit there. A bit around there. Little bits underneath. That's underneath, so a bit more on there. Let's do that one. That's underneath. Okay, so it's quite random. I've not really done much. I might put a little bit, look at the bottom there. I'm not worried too much about whether it's exactly perfect or whether the shadow's coming in from the right or the left. Nothing like that. It's just smooth it off. Okay. They are, yeah, it's the chameleon pencils. So as you can see, let's move it out a little bit. They are like double-ended. You know, like we used to have when we were in school. Well, when I did, anyway. I remember having double-ended pencils. They're just easier to carry around than the polychromos because there's less of them and they're in a nice case. Besides, I don't always like to take my polychromos out. So I've got all my stuff out and prepped for the show tomorrow. So there we go. You see, I'm just, wherever I've put some of that pencil, I'm just smoothing it out. I'm not covering all of it, it's just sort of in sections. There. Could be a bit under there. Okay, let's have a look at that. Yeah. Yeah, I did Tina. I got mine off Curtain Craft. Didn't they have a show where it was, you know, it was like a launch show or something? It was a bit of money. I got them a bit cheaper. We always have to do that, don't we? Okay. So I'm going to stay in the centre just for now. I think it's going to be easier to do your shading in the centre before we do the outer bits. So going back to my little fish, I'm just going to give them a little bit of weight in that bottom section there. So I'm going over the lines and just adding some in that bottom section. Okay. And then on my sort of my spoke type of thing, I'm just going to pick one side. Doesn't matter which side, whether you prefer the left or the right. And I'm just going to add in a line on one edge. You see, I'm pressing on quite a bit there as well. Just working my way around. Just adding that little bit of shadow to it. Okay. Oh, Janet. Okay, and then you see I've done all the way around those. Now I've got the ones that were underneath. So coming back round, I'm going to do the same. See? Just adding a line on one side. All the way down, wherever you need to. There's one there, look. Should it have been the Kent show this weekend? Oh, what a shame with that. I did the very first Kent show that they did. I've been there every year. It's a shame it's not on this year. But needs a must, it'll be back. Okay? Right, I taught you on then. I'm just going to smooth those edges. I'm not going to go all the way to the top. Just sort of that bottom section. I'm just smoothing out the line there. And when it comes to this line, I'm just going to touch down it ever so gently. I don't really want it to move. So I'm just going to add it on with that torch a little bit, you see? So it's not really shading it out, it's just easing off that line and just sort of taking it down a bit, but not much. There we go. Okay, a bit there. So it's just giving it a little bit of an echo almost. Okay. So back to pencil. Now this time I'm not using the point. I am definitely holding it slightly more at an angle and keeping it as flat towards the paper as I possibly can. What I'm going to do is I'm quite heavy with this, as I'm going to go all the way around that first frame. I'm just imagining where it's going to go there. Alright. Through there. Okay, so I say I've been quite heavy with that. You can very, very distinct, isn't it? Very clear there, you can see that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same at the top. Filling that bit in again. It's quite heavy around that shape there. filling in as I go. Oh, Rhiannon, you've spoilt yourself with polychromos. Oh, they're divine. You will absolutely love them. So what else I'm playing with at the minute is the Sakura gel pens. I've got new colours out at the minute. I have ordered some in actually, so yeah, I've got to play with them. I've been trying the green grey and the blue grey. Oh, they're lovely. Okay. So we've got this. Now it looks a little bit of a mess, doesn't it, at this point, but never fear. We're going to go in, small swirls, just keep it gentle. And we're going to ease that pencil towards the centre. Oh, Leslie. Are you sure? Alright, you see there? So as I get a bit further in, I'm going to ease off. And I'll show you the other side. I don't want the two to touch. I want that bit of light in the middle. There we go. Alright, so you've got this bit of a light source here in the middle. Yeah, oh, see, yeah, you've gone back on that statement, Leslie. Yeah. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work all my way around. Oh, Joyce, they do watercolour, Faber-Castell do, but the polychromos aren't watercolour, they're a wax, oily based. The watercolours are pretty nice too, though, I must admit. This would look nice with watercolour. Do you know what this would look nice on as well if you used, if you've got like, you know, your pixie powders, your cosmic shimmers, things like that, is actually making a background first. So you've got this kind of splashy background and then tangling and doing this over the top. That would look pretty cool. But then again, I've got a couple of tiles that I've used those powders on. And you know, once they're dry and you look at them, and I just don't want to tangle over the top of them because they're just beautiful in their own right. Yes, Joe, it does, yeah. If you're using polychromos, the regular ones, a bit of baby oil. And it helps it blends them beautifully. Tiny bit of baby oil, not much. Some people apply it with tortillon, some people, I mean, I like to do it with a paintbrush, with a very, very small paintbrush. Okay. Let's have a look at that. So, we've got our sort of shade going on, so let's just enhance that a little bit. I'm going to go back in with my pen. And then between here and here, I'm going to try not to sort of smudge the pencil I've just put in. But I'm going to wait, you know, add a little bit more depth there, and let's just define that. And you see here, let's go up, but I'm only going to go up until I almost touch the white highlight. You see, I've just gone part way up and part way down, but I've left the little bit in the middle there. And then let's continue round. Just working my way, it's making it a bit heavier. And then again, just part way up, part way down. So these are the things we mentioned last time, didn't we? That you don't normally get from just looking at a book of patterns. You don't get the shading, and you don't get these extra little bits and pieces that I think make all the difference. Okay. And then follow it round. See, now if you said it earlier, if you don't get these lines, you know, these lines quite right, you don't really see them anymore. They're just part of the background. Okay. Oh, missed a little fish there, look. I'll add a little bit to there. Let's have a look at that. So, one more thing we can do with this, you know, we talked about just enhancing it a little bit. If you have your white pastel pencil or your chalk pencil, if you don't have one, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just enhancing with what I've got here. Is I'm going to go in and add some of that line all the way around. I'm going to add a bit onto there too. And although you might not see it much on screen, you'll notice it on your own. It'll just, that touch, because the tiles are slightly off-white, I'll just bring it up a little bit. Look at that. Yeah, God, I know sometimes people watch it and then do it. It's whatever suits, it's fine. I think sometimes it's nice just to watch, or even watch and sketch it, you know, just so you get the idea of it. You see, I'm just doing my familiar, that little type of smirk on those bubbles. You know, we could even add a couple of little, you know, of those drop shadows that we're all getting so good at. Places, not all of them. Let's go and add a touch of shadow to these as well. You see how I've just done that extra line there? There we go. And just a little bit of smooshing. Bits on there. But this is just sort of dressing around the outside, so the definition, it's not really, you know, the most important thing. It just gives it a bit of a hint, doesn't it? Oh, hey Diane. Yeah, do you know, loving it. Love that one. So what I am going to do, I'm going to be different today. I'm going to put my name inside the image. So I'm going to put there's my little initials, look, there. And then let's have a look. Okay. How about that? Oh, Garth, have you been giving them what for? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I did say that I'd got one of those in colour. And I say I've been using the new Sakura, couple of new Sakura colours, and I've used my my white pen. Oh, so yeah, do you know, and I said to people, you know, I'm trying to cover so many different tastes and so many, you know, different people's views of what tangling and Sanntangle should be. You're not going to love everyone, I know that, and that's absolutely fine, but I'm glad that you've sort of come along and thought, oh, actually, don't mind so much. So there we go. So, you know, doing it in, you know, the traditional, a touch of colour is nice, but there you can see that I've used the, of course, using the grey tile, you see I've used the white pencil, it really shows up there, really shows up, and then doing the white in the middle, it just gives it a little bit of a different sort of view, doesn't it? So whether you want to stick with traditions and just go with what, you know, what we normally do with the basics, or whether you want to break away from tradition and try it on something, a different colour, or try, you know, try the gel pens and things like that. Yeah, they are a little bit thicker, and we've already talked about that, than the regular pens, but as long as you're aware of that and you just give it a go, it's worth an experiment, isn't it? Worth a try. So this is our 23rd tile. So one more to do, which is going to be Monday. So I will think about how I can and what I'm going to do with that. So just a quick show then of what we've got coming on Saturday. Now I think if I do this one first, I'm just going to move the camera out just a little bit because otherwise we're not going to see everything. There we go. There we go. So if I move my board. Oh, cool, nice. It's not drawn on yet. I haven't had time. So this is the new volume 2 that we've been working on, and the instructions for how to do this. Now if you have a closer look at that, you can see all those. See, oh look at that, you know that pattern, we've been doing that today. And you can see all those different tangles. See, you can see the bubbles in there. And the little swirls, we did that one the other day. So there's another pattern that you can do. So there's lots in there. And when you sort of break it down, it doesn't look so scary, does it? So let's have a quick look in this. So what have we got? That's about this book. So it's my waffle. Couple of samples there. Now you notice here, look, staying in with that kind of theme. Now if you've got the rectangle stencils, you'll recognise that one because some of these designs have been done with the rectangles in mind. So you can keep this, you know, in terms of it shows you how to colour it with the alcohol markers, then how to tangle on it. And you can see I've put my patterns in as we've gone. And then how to use coloured pencils over the top. So of course, a lot of the time with these, you don't see how to shade things. So I have explained in all this how to shade it. And then of course you've got your images. So there's some at the back there, look. You've got your images. So you'll recognise that from the dream catcher. But then you've got some hexagonals to play with. Now look at this one. Look at this one. Yeah, that one starts life as that one. And then, you know, that's great for a card. See, look. Oh, the keys. You've got some rectangles, some hexagons. So you can see there's quite a few bits and pieces that you can play with. So that's, it's a move on from volume 1. So it doesn't tell you how to colour gems because volume 1 tells you how to do that. This is more about how do you get that depth and detail in there. The second one, so you might recognise the board from there. There we go. Yeah. So I thought that would be quite nice to use because you recognise some of these tiles. So in we go with this one then is you've got all the different tiles that we've done there. They're not necessarily all the first 12, but there are 12 in there. So it's instructions on how to do them. And again, you'll notice my little bits and pieces there. And again, the important thing about this is I've showed you how to do the tile, but also how to put it onto the journal page. And more importantly, how to shade it. Because I think that, you know, it's one of the things, as we said, it brings it to life, isn't it? And if you've not got that, so you can see there that you've got the different tiles and how we did them. And my photographs and my sketches along the way. But then something else I wanted to include is this, because I know we all do this a lot and we practice things first. And so looking at the first one, you can see this is the patterns that we've used in the first tile, and you've got space to try things out and keep some notes and stuff. But you'll notice here, look, this is one of the tiles that I've done, and I might try it with this pattern in the background and this pattern in the foreground, things like that, and put them on the different pages. So you've got that. See, look, I've got the different ways of doing that one. So I've started to sort of work in it. See, there's our alien one. And then at the end, I've done a page full of those little patterns and things that we can work on. So yeah, that's a very, very quick view, because obviously, you know, I'll show you a little bit more tomorrow. And this video is more about what we're doing with tiles, not about what I've got coming out in my books. So yeah, so there's my pattern. Today's tile, there. And if you want to have a go in colour, it's there. So have a play with it, have a go. Now on Monday, I thought something a little bit special. We've got in our pack 2s a hexagonal shaped tile. So what I'd like us to do is to have a go with that one. Now again, as I've said before, if you've not got a hexagon, don't worry about it. If I show you this one in terms of, so there's a regular tile, there's my hexagon. So it's, you know, it's sort of tile size. So if you want to draw a hexagon shape on a regular tile, then by all means you do that, and that's sort of prep for Monday's tile. So that's what we'll be working on. But whatever colour you want to use, or you know, you could use your stencil if you want to, and you could use that to draw around it. If that's absolutely fine. Whatever suits, whatever works for you. So thank you ever so much for watching again, and thank you so much for your support. It's not just, you know, I know you've said I've been helping you, but you've been helping me too. So I really appreciate that, and that's wonderful. So yeah, if you can watch, if you're not out and about tomorrow, that'd be lovely. Come and join me at 12 and at 6, and you know, maybe take some inspiration from the demos and things. But yeah, send some pictures in, and hopefully they'll show some pictures of what you've been doing with these lockdown videos. So I really appreciate that. Thank you ever so much, everybody, and have a lovely weekend, and I will see you back here on Monday at 2 o'clock. All right, you take care. Bye.